Hi guys, and welcome to another session of Honest Talk About Women, where you'll learn tips, tricks and strategies on how to navigate the minefields of dating and relationships. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and also comment in the comments section. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you have a story you want to share with viewers, you can contact me on my email address listed below. Today's session is on the custody of the kids. Now, this is a very sensitive topic for a lot of fathers out there. There's been a lot of cases reported where they don't get to see their kids. The family court has ruled that the father is not to have any contact with the kids, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So I'll tell you about my experience and what I think is the best strategies to navigate the minefield of the family court with the custody of the kids. So firstly, you've got to be in the right head frame to go through this process, because if you're emotionally charged, you're full of anger and aggression, it won't go well for you because there's a certain process to follow. And if on any one of those hurdles you trip up, then it's not looking good for you seeing your kids. So you've also got to work out the time you want to be involved with your kids going down the track post separation and divorce, how involved you want to be with your kids. Now, if you decide to have kids in the first place, you should be looking to be involved with your kids. They need a parent in their family, especially a fatherly figure, especially with boys, and it's to their disadvantage if they don't see or have you involved in their lives. So you've got to put your best foot forward, guys, when you go to family court, to work out a custody arrangement plan to see your kids and the shared custody of your kids with your former wife or partner. So in this jurisdiction in New Zealand, there's a separate family court that decides on the custody of the kids, and then the tax department works out the child support payments, and that's based on percentages and your income levels and income level differentials between you and your wife. And those tables get regularly updated, so it can change. In terms of alimony, or what you need to pay to your wife or what she needs to pay for you, that's decided in the bigger package, which is the financial settlement, and that goes through another court if you should go down that track. And that works out the financial arrangement, and then the subsequent divorce, legal divorce. In this country, you've got to wait 2 years if you want to divorce, a legal divorce after your marriage and after you've been separated. So it's a lengthy process. In some jurisdictions around the world, they deal with three together: the children, the alimony, the financial settlement, and then the annul of the marriage certificate. But in this jurisdiction of New Zealand, and if you can't work out the sharing of the kids in a nice friendly manner with your ex, then you need to go off to the family court to work out an arrangement of who gets to see the kids when. So my advice is to sort it out amicably if that's possible, but I understand it's not always possible. And when someone separates, there can be emotions that are highly charged. So in some instances, one parent can be trying to get back at the other parent and use the kids as a bargaining tool. And it's very disappointing that it stoops to that level. But it does happen, and that's reality. So firstly, when you go to family court, you've got to get yourself a good lawyer, and not all lawyers are equal. You've got to get someone who specializes in custody arrangements for the children. You don't want a general lawyer. You want some lawyer that's been in and out of family court, knows the ins and outs, knows the judges, knows how to prepare a summary for the judge, and so forth. And it can be quite expensive, but if you get the right lawyer, you'll get results. And don't penny pinch. Don't get the cheapest lawyer, because usually the cheapest lawyer will offer cheap advice, and be prepared to pay a bit of money. So another thing is you'll get a date of when you are to be in family court, and that's not something that happens quite quickly. That takes time. Usually there's a backlog. In this country, there's a backlog in family court, so be prepared that it won't happen the year that you're in. It can drag out to quite a lengthy process, but it can be sped up if there's danger involved with the kids. So they do prioritise urgent cases. Now, judges are quite conservative people. And they don't have a social media presence. They're not public figures. In the old days, a judge wasn't listed in the telephone directory book. For those young people that don't know what a telephone directory book is, it relates to the phone numbers and addresses of people. It's an old-fashioned book that everyone was given or delivered to the letterbox, and every year it used to come out and it used to have your name listed, and if you were you could subscribe to have your name unlisted at a cost, but anyway, judges didn't usually have their names in that telephone book. They have a very low social presence, and even in apartment blocks their name is usually removed, or someone else's name is used, or their wife's first name, previous surname was used on the lift directory or the apartment block directory. This is to stop any possible corruption of judges and to keep them off the radar, so they can't be contacted by the defendants or plaintiffs. So that's the situation in this country. It may vary in the country you're in. So most judges have to climb a long way to get where they are. So, 4 years at university, then they have to work in a law firm before they start practicing law, and then they have to work many, many years to become a judge. So in this country, most judges are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Very rarely do you get a young judge. They've got to go through a lot of loops around the racetrack before they get nominated as a judge. So having all that, they're very, very conservative in nature. And if you're quite a loud person, you're going to tone it down a bit. So if you're going to go to court, take out those earrings, cover up those tattoos. If you've got tattoos on your arms, neck or whatever. The judges are very, very conservative people. That's quite loud for them. So cover that all up. Wear a suit, wear a tie, and get a short haircut. Tidy yourself up, make yourself look conservative, and so that you can do the best part you can in front of the judge. And you've got to market yourself as a caring, considerate father that wants to be involved with the kids, developing the kids to the best version of themselves, be involved with their homework, their school activities, their sporting events, and so forth and so forth. So it's all about marketing yourself in front of the judge. But before you even get to see the judge in person with your ex-wife, you've got to go through a few other steps, and this usually involves a junior lawyer who is working for the court system, and they interview the child or the children, and this is a one-on-one interview with the child or children, so the parents aren't allowed in the same room, and the lawyer asks quite detailed questions and then goes into the specifics. Starts off with, how's school going? Do you have any birthday parties coming up? And then they drill down to the detail, like at night or in the morning, who showers you, or do you shower independently, or do you have a bath by yourself? Who's sleeping in your bed? All that sort of stuff. How do I know all this? Because my kids went through this system and they told me verbatim what the questions were. So if the junior lawyer thinks the children or the child is exhibiting unusual behaviour, they've got the power to appoint a child psychologist to do a psychological evaluation of the child, and that report is sent to the judge. And both parents get billed for this service. It's not cheap. Also, the parents are also evaluated by the junior judge, and a report is sent to the judge. So you go along and you sit down with this junior lawyer. Usually he or she's in their late 20s, early 30s. They're quite junior. They're not commercially orientated. Most of them work in the court system because they're not seeking a career in the commercial world with legal services. And they ask a lot of questions. How often do you see the kids? Do you value your time with the kids? Are you happy seeing the kids? And it goes on and on and on. Usually about 1 or 2 hours. Now, from my experience, I remember waiting in the sitting room before I went in to see a junior lawyer, and you could hear her talking about the United States presidential candidacy in the 2016 election, and she was an anti-Trumper. And this is a time where you show restraint, guys. You don't get involved with politics. You don't get involved mentioning environmental issues or any negativity or any wild conspiracy theories. Like COVID, if you go in there talking about how the government's got no right to vaccinate kids or tell them to wear masks, then this is not the time to mention that sort of stuff. This is all about you as a parent. So just pull back a little bit if you have any controversial opinions, because it will bite you in the bum big time. Present yourself well as a caring father. And then the judge has you in court, and he asks you a series of questions. In my circumstances, he said, do I have any concerns about the family arrangements of your kids going down to my ex-wife's parents' place every second Christmas? I did have concerns because from my experiences in the past when I've been down there, there's been a lot of guns lying around, a lot of ammunition lying around, and there's been a lot of cannabis smoked. And it's not conducive to my kids. And if you mention that sort of those comments to a very conservative judge, it usually connects with them. So then the judge makes his decision. He goes into his back room, makes his decision, comes back, and he does what's in the best interests of the kids based on the parents and also the development of the kids. So he makes the best decision, and I got pretty much what I wanted. I've got no issues with the family court. I was very happy with the outcome. And if you disagree with the outcome of the court, then you need to move to the higher court to get it overturned or get it reassessed. But it costs a lot of money in legal fees and a lot of money and time. So you've got to be prepared for the emotional battle if you want to go to the next step. But if you present well, be yourself, be honest, and be involved with your kids, show a genuine face, you got no issues to worry about from my angle. Yes, there are stories out there that has gone against the guy. The guy hardly ever sees his kids. That has been put out in the press quite a bit. But in my circumstances and in my jurisdiction, I've had a pretty fair outcome, and it's the family court always tries to do the best what's for the kids. So that's it for today, guys. If you have any comments you want to share in the comment section, comment, subscribe to the channel. And if you have a story you want to share with viewers, then you can contact me on my email address listed below. I also have a book on alpha dating which is on Amazon Kindle at a very reasonable price. So look at the link down below to purchase it. Until next time, take care.